Welcome back to the Mike Rogers Show. Mike Rogers here with you. Wow, recently we've had a lot of great artists, and today, once again, part 2 of the Ori Dagon story. That's really cool. You know, Ori-san, you don't need a radio, I don't know what it called, counselor or advisor or something. Like, you got me, so you can just ask me.
Good.
So
That's awesome.
do you know in Japan, and I think, I'm not sure because I haven't been to the West in a long time, but jazz is big here.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because I've known this and I've been trying to get to Japan for a long time, and I think it's going to happen soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, maybe even this year. And you know what? When I find out if this happens, you will be the first person to know.
So there are I went to Shinjuku. It's a really very, very crowded place, and I went to Shinjuku and I went to a club to see punk bands. And there were 2 punk bands, but the opening act was a jazz band.
Nice.
And the kids loved it.
Good.
I was so surprised. I mean, you know, I'm an old guy, so I was just sitting in the back, and this band came out, and I thought, these guys are playing jazz music, and the kids were just rocking. So beautiful. I'm gonna, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna send you the videos of a band called Bim Bam Boom.
Love it.
Like
that's a great name.
Bim Bim Pop, or I don't know. And another group called Tokyo Groove. And I'll send you their email address too.
Okay.
And then you can contact them because if you come here, the best way, I don't know about Korea, but the best way to come to Japan and tour here is you have a band that's your friends.
Yeah.
And then you tag along with them, and then everything becomes super cheap.
Cool.
You don't have to rent the whole damn club. And
can they swing?
Oh,
these guys?
Yeah. Well, I'll send you the videos.
Great. I do love to swing.
Their contact, and I don't know, you know, yeah, they're kind of traditional style. You know, of course they're bringing the sound into 2022, but they're kind of traditional sounding jazz groups.
Cool. Well, you know what? This is actually one of the things about jazz music that is really magical to me, is that because the people that are in this field love this music so much. And you can go anywhere in the world. Like, I do this all the time. Like, I just go out, I go to a jam session, you know, and especially, I think it's especially magical if you don't know anybody. You know, you're going to a different city, they have a jam session, you go up there, and all of a sudden, you know, you're able to make beautiful music together. And it's, yeah, I mean, to me, that's one of my favorite parts of the music is jam sessions and the fact that, you know, we can all kind of speak the same language, no matter where we're from. It's a beautiful thing.
Wow. So I'd like to ask you about, though, on my radio show, I don't know if you've listened to Color Red Radio.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I don't know if that's, you know, when the talk first came up to doing that show, it was like, okay, let's play jazz, but let's not play just all traditional jazz. Let's try to bring it so that young people can accept it. And so that's why there's a lot of weird music in that show. There's a lot of weird music in that show. But also, I started playing Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yep.
And the reaction was really, really good. People were just like, what is this? And then I sent the boss of the station asked me to send the song so he could put it into rotation. And I did. And people were just raving about it. So for me, like, of course, that's an old song. That's like 30 years old or 40 years old. I don't remember.
Yeah. 1979.
Was it? So, okay. So, but you've come and changed it and made it so that it still has the taste and the flavor of the original, the old the old song, but it's got this new jazzy, you know. And when I first heard it, I was just laughing and laughing. I thought, this is great. I love music that has a sense of humor.
Well, I'm so glad you appreciate that, and your listeners too, and thanks for playing it. You know, like I said, this record, my fourth one, is the first time where most of the tunes are all ones I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
For me, a big part of the tradition has been to reinterpret old familiar tunes. So I knew I wanted to include a cover, a standard of some sort, but nothing worked in my mind that was like a really old song. Like nothing from the 1930s or 40s or 50s really worked in terms of what this album is about. And then I was in a department store and the classic Buggles tune came on, and I just said, this is it. This is the song. And you know what? When I talked to my team about it, they said, I don't know. I don't know. That's a bit crazy even for you, Ori. But I just heard it. You know, I just thought, this is it. And then it ended up being a duet with Simone Denny, who
That's
is
right.
an incredible singer. And I met her at an event once. And I thought she was perfect for this because she, in the 90s here in Canada, was a huge star. I mean, she's still a star, but in the 90s, like, she had this hit called Superstar. And You're a Superstar. It's just amazing. And, you know, got her a lot of attention here in Canada and internationally. And I remember watching her when I was, like, you know, a young teenager, watching her music videos. So I thought, wouldn't that be great to have her on it? I didn't think she would do it, you know, because I didn't really know her, but I just sent her an Instagram message because we followed each other. And again, this was during COVID. So the funny thing was, we were not even able to rehearse. I mean, it really is crazy what we've all gone through in the past few years. Like, it feels like it's been 10 years. It's really just been 2 years. And, you know, when I think back to making this record, I remember that I was so freaked out about this duet in particular, because duets are hard when you don't really know the person. You know, duets work really well if you've rehearsed many times, you know, but this is in a studio, you know, it's expensive, it's intense, you know, everything, sanitizer, tech tests, like, it was just so stressful. And I just remember that, yeah, I couldn't really rehearse with her in the same room. So we kind of like rehearsed it on Zoom, sort of, and there was delay.
Wow.
So I just remember being so freaked out the day of the recording because I realized, like, I don't even know if Simone can sing jazz. Like, I don't even know that. I've never heard her swing. And this arrangement is swing. Like it's really, you know, that. And then as soon as she opened her mouth, I was like, oh, thank God. This is going to be great. And I have to say, you know, she was also so generous to me with how we did this, you know, because she was like, listen, this is your album. I don't want to steal your thunder, but, you know, let this is you. This is your thing. So when we divided the lines and everything, she was so sweet, so kind, so lovely to work with. And, you know, if anyone out there that is listening to your show, I think they might really dig her music. Look her up, Simone Denny, and the band she was in is called Love Inc. That was the famous Canadian band from the 90s.
I've heard of that band.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow. So that's really cool. Do you know Kathy Hahn?
Of course.
So she's such a nice lady.
She's a wonderful person.
She's so nice to me. She's
awesome.
One of the few people who are nice to me. So is Kathy Hahn having something to do with arranging this possible Japan tour? Or?
Not exactly, actually. No, yeah, although I've talked to her about it. But basically, the deal is I'm trying to, because I've been trying to get to Japan for 20 years. You know, like, I mean, I literally, there are some of my favorite singers recorded in Japan. So
Mhm.
I've like listened to all these live albums in Japan, and I always thought to myself, there's such a great audience. Like there's so you can. I mean, I've heard this too, obviously from my peers. Like they're always telling me, like you got to get to Japan, or and so I'm actually recording music now that I'm hoping to release in Japan, and it's specifically for you guys. Like it's
Wow.
literally like this is going to be special, and I hope it happens. I have a good feeling about it.
Do you have a label in Japan?
Not yet.
So I'll send you this video. You should watch it on how to get a label and how to get a tour here. And
Awesome. Thank you.
this guy's name is Gaku Kamachi. He speaks English pretty well. And
Wonderful.
he runs a label called Sazanami, which means it's the opposite of tsunami. Like
Oh,
it's
good.
little wave. And he toured the world, and he did it by arranging just like friends. Like he would arrange a friend that runs a band like in Switzerland or whatever, and okay, we'll come to Switzerland and play, and you arrange our shows, and then you guys come to Japan and play.
Cool.
I'll arrange it. So it's that sort of thing.
Nice.
So wait a minute, so I gotta write it down or I'll forget. Okay, so okay, so yeah, I'm gonna send you that. So I got one more thing I wanted to tell you. I think a cover from the 30s, or maybe it's from the 20s. If you did a song,
Yeah.
Sweet Georgia Brown.
But you know that that's my favorite song of all time.
It is.
It is.
It is. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Well, I recorded it on my second album,
Mm.
and it's like the happiest song. I love this song. I mean, I wrote an essay about it when I was in school. I know everything about it.
So,
It's so Thelonious Monk called it the happiest set of chord changes in all of jazz, which I agree with. And I love everything about that song, the melody, the lyrics, like that line, I don't lie, not much. It's amazing.
yeah, I first heard that song with the basketball team. What was it? The Harlem
Harlem
Globetrotters.
Globetrotters. That's right.
When I was a kid, and I loved that song.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Oh, so it's on your second album?
Yep. Yep.
Can you send it to me, Odi-san?
Of course. You want a physical copy?
No. Don't waste money.
Okay.
It costs a lot of money to send stuff here.
You got it. So you just want the file?
Yeah, just the files, or just the files from your second album.
Sure.
I'm always needing new music, always.
Okie doke.
So, because I rarely play a song. I mean, I played Video Killed the Radio Star, I think 3 times, and that's a lot. That's a lot for my show. So, anything you have, always send it to me. I want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Do you have any last words or wishes that you'd like to give to your Japanese audience? Buy my record, come see the shows, or whatever.
Absolutely. So my new record is available on Bandcamp, and I will ship to Japan, and it's on vinyl.
Wow.
My first ever vinyl. And also, for those who still like the CDs, I do have it on CD. And there's also like, merch and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I will tell your wonderful, dedicated listeners that it means so much when people go out of their way to support artists in these days when things are crazy. And you don't really have to do that. Nobody has to do that. It means a lot to us, and it keeps us going. So if you do really enjoy what me or any artist does, and they've got their own store and it's something you can do, you know what, it's not even about buying something. Like that would be great, but even if you just send me a note, follow me, by the way, on the socials at Ori Dagan Jazz. I do all of the socials. I spend a lot of time on it because I really, really believe that my audience is how I do this. Like I can't do this without an audience. So my audience means a lot to me, and I'm in touch with my audience, and I'm so grateful for anyone who follows me and follows my journey. I really, really appreciate that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ori-san. So am I pronouncing your last name right? Dagan?
Well, here in Canada, it's Ori Dagan, but
Dagan.
you know what? It's kind of different anywhere. Maybe I should just stick to Ori.
I think
Which in Korean means duck.
Wow.
I know. I didn't know that.
So
there you go.
Anyways, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. Let's have you on the show. If your Japan show gets decided,
yeah,
you got to come back and
Absolutely.
Let's promote the hell out of it.
Oh, that would be amazing. I will definitely. You're the first person to know as soon as this happens.
Okay. Thanks you so much. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, award-winning jazz singer-songwriter Ori Dagan. Wow, whatever his name is. He's the best. Yes, thank you, Ori.
Arigatou gozaimashita.